Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Full-Length Cup Challenge. This evening we are excited to bring you the FLCC 500 Clash from iRacing's virtual Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the top split for the Maconi Fix Series and Fast Fridays. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight's race is Kirk Mills. Christian Hill is working the controls as our producer. As we get set for tonight's action, it's the start of a new season when it comes to the FLCC here, Kirk. And tonight, we started for the World Center of Racing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those tracks that is banked with history and steeped with history. We got 31 degrees in the corners. They opened up back in 1959. It's going to be one of these tracks that is going to be a very technical, long, and strategy-filled race. I'm really excited to see what comes down here tonight in the Clash.
An exhibition race here from Daytona where these drivers will be going speeds around 200 plus miles an hour potentially in the draft. We'll see how things fare out in the pack here tonight. A lot of people have had low motors while testing the triple car tandem drafting and bump drafting. As well, tonight's format for this event, essentially up to 6 heats are available for these competitors, where there'll be 10 laps per heat, only 2 advance per heat. And then there are the consi races. Those are to be fully calculated for tonight's race later on. Those consis would be 20 laps apiece for later on this evening. The full distance for the race, that will be 20 laps for the feature in the very end. 9 incident points the limit, so very tight. So keep that in mind for tonight. 3 green white checkers available, and it is open setup in this series, as you see with your feature analysis brought to you by Maconi Entertainment. You have to do well, to say the very least here, Kirk, if you want to be able to move your way through from the heat races directly to the feature here tonight. There's not a lot of room for error in 10 laps of racing.
No, there is not. And I think right now the number one thing that should be going through these guys' mind is, should I be aggressive or should I lag back and hope to miss the big one? Everyone talks about the big one being something that takes out a lot of drivers, a lot of cars, and I guarantee you that whenever they go out on this racetrack, their decisions will be made rather quickly on whether or not they want to hide up in the back or down in the back or up in the front. It's definitely going to be something to watch.
Keep in mind, only the green flag laps count in this event as well for the heat races and the consi. So keep that in mind as the night progresses here. A stacked field of competitors is also entered Your list includes several drivers with current and or former eNASCAR experience. That includes Christopher Hill, who is a part of this year's eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series roster with Apex. You also have Jonathan Delaney, a part of the entry list. Other notables to keep an eye on throughout the night: Ralph Hutchinson, we've seen him fast in speed, and of course your defending champion for the 2024 season, Clayton Hoffman, is amongst your list of entrants. We'll talk more about the drivers and who to watch for as the night progresses here, but the heats have been set up here. We have 4 total heats available for our drivers tonight. That's about 11 or so split up in each of the heats. It's just about time to look at how our first heat will group up here from Daytona. And as they get grouped up and ready to go for tonight, let's take a look at how Group 1 will be the first heat out of the 4. Noah Hodgson starts on the pole. It is Shane Davis in second. Alex Murphy will start in third. Murray, I should say. Daniel Llewellyn will start in fourth. Dustin Hall and Clayton Hoffman in the top 6. Sean O'Brien Jr. starts off in 7th. Andreas Snyder in 8th. Ralph Hutchinson will start in the back in 9th with William Owens in 10th. Chris Davis starts shotgun. So as this field gets set to go here, 11 cars in our first heat. What are some of the keys to having a successful heat in your opinion here tonight?
Start up front. Right now you got to look at your top guys: Nolan Hodgins, Shane Pete Davis. These guys are going to be the ones to watch out of the gate in this grid. I believe that whenever they go out there, you're going to try and control the lead line, whatever that may be, the top, the bottom, the middle. They got to be able to adapt to this track because it changed quickly and it changes all at once. And you don't want to be the one left out to dry down in the sucker hole, sent all the way to the back, because it is going to be hard to get back up to the front unless something chaotic happens, and it normally does.
Who are you putting a star next to from this heat in your opinion that you're watching the most out of?
You know, I'll be honest with you. Out of all these guys, there's a lot of drivers in here that are going to, I think, stand out. But the one that I want to have my eyes on is that gold number 1 car, Dustin Hall. I think that this guy, he's going to have a little something extra in him today. And I think he's going to go out there and do really well. Maybe some issue with trading paint there, but I think it looks pretty good on my end. Not sure what we're seeing there.
Yeah, I think he had the spec map load up, but not the paint scheme load up. So either way, the Team Conti driver got to be someone to keep an eye on. He's teammates this season with Cam Stone, Brandon Hastings, Adam Benefiel, who are all part of that team. One of the teams expected to contend for a championship potentially. But we're happy to have you with us here on Maconi Entertainment for coverage of the Full Length Cup Challenge. It's the Clash. It's the first of 4 heats. We're about to find out who's going to be able to move their way into tonight's 20-lap feature to begin a new campaign.
Oh, let's go, man. I'm excited. Let's go. Come on.
Green flag is out. We're underway from Daytona.
All right. The bottom lane really got organized here going into 1.
Already tandeming together as they work their way to 1 and 2. Hodgson getting the push from Murray. That outside line, it's already died off. Everybody going to the bottom.
Yep, the funeral's already been had for that outside line. It is dead and gone. At this point, it's going to be a train, and they got to get back in it if they're going to have any chance of sticking with the lead draft.
We'll keep the draft, but already up to the 5th spot already. 4 spots gained for Hutchinson.
Wow.
And he's going to be one of the drivers to watch. Normally runs with Conti as well when it comes to the official races. He's amongst those with his own team, though, for this championship. He's got Jacob Simpson, Jonathan Delaney, and Lucas Hoitzma, who are all his teammates for this campaign. Already 9 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a quick race, so they got to do everything they can to get up to the front of the pack. I saw Davis trying to make a move on the 8. No, 8's going to move up, man. What a move. He's trying to make a move to the outside against the 65 there. He's taking a whole freight train. They got Chris Davis and Hoffman with them as well going into 3.
They're wanting to go places. And those triple car 10s, we touched upon this when talking about things earlier on tonight. Usually when it comes to this car, you want to get that push to the second car so you can push that first car. A lot of people in the top split races will get on the radio and tell you to close that gap and keep that momentum going.
Oh man, they're starting to get even now, both lanes. That's up to the second car at this point, but that third car of Hoffman's getting off the rear bumper to 74. That's going to make him lose a little momentum heading down the back. Oh, he just gave him a good shot. I tell you what, I think that right now, the top 2 spots on the bottom, that's exactly where I want to be. I want to be the top 2 guys. That's Alex Murray and Nolan Hodgson right in the catbird seat, I think.
Controlling things still, 1 and 2. Murray is in the second spot at the moment, should say. Hall has moved up to third spot as the outside has died off and no help for car number 8.
Alfie Hutchinson going all the way back. Yep, definitely.
You need to find friends, and there's already a lot of communication on the radio about trying to figure out what they want to do here. This is a car package that requires a lot of coordination to make passes, mind you.
Wow, I mean, at this point, like, I don't know what exactly they're going to end up doing, because if you're in the back of this pack, you got to go. This is go time. You don't have enough time to be able to just lag back and wait until the last lap. If you are 5th place or farther back, you got to get moving. This is your chance. Get together, work, find a partner, and love them, give them a nice shove, and get up to the front. That's what you got to do.
Right now, if anything, people waiting for the right moment to make that move with what we've seen that outside line die off with before. So far, though, it is still Hodgson and Murray in the transfer spots. Dustin Hall, the first out. Sean O'Brien Jr., the second one out. With the way things are holding on here. So, at the moment, it's looking very comfortable again for the 12, but again, what's going to the mind here if you're in this pack, plotting and planning, coming to halfway already in this first heat?
At this point, I'm just thinking, hey, if these guys are going to be riding simple single file, I mean, maybe I'm going to wait for a chance for somebody to dip out. And if they go, maybe I could take their spot, move up another one before it gets too late, you know, because that outside line will really die really quickly. But one thing that I am thinking about right now, we already had 2 drivers lose the draft. That's Schneider and Llewellyn back in the back of the pack right now. They are hoping for something crazy because right now they're out of it. We got the second car in line looking a little higher that time, but not seeing too much move. Oh, now we do. Look at that. Wow. Big shove coming from Shane P. Davis on the back bumper of Chris Davis. Are they brothers? Are they family? I'm not sure, but they're definitely working together.
Davis is trying to find a way to get that outside line to do something. As you can see, though, that outside line not getting as much luck through the corners there. They're the only 2, it seems, willing to try and make a move at the moment. That's allowed Owens to actually gain a spot on them. Still 4 laps to do something.
Whoa, bad push there almost given by that William Owens car right there. He went on that left rear quarter panel, and you do not want to hit that too hard or you're going to end up seeing a car get spun right around, and that is not a pretty sight.
Yeah, offset bumping like that, going to be very dangerous, to say the very least. But right now, planning still continuing on right now. Hutchinson, you have to think, going to be one of those who might duck out pretty quickly here. Same with Hoffman as they're lining up at the bottom.
Yeah, at this point, we're coming to 3 to go, right? I think so. So with this, I mean, this is go time. They got to get a friend and push them all the way. I mean, this is it. I don't know when they're going to duck out, but they got to do it quick.
Ryan Hoffman, champion in this series, last season's champion, in fact, still running in that 5th position. Of course, last season, seen him do very well in that championship race in the very end. To be able to come away with that title, had fights with Patrick Gitter, Lucas Hoytsma, and more for that title fight in 2024.
I think that 92 might be setting up the 65 here. He backed up a whole bunch, got a huge gap, and I think he's going to try and do something with it, but that's only if the car in the 8 car wants to help him. It seems like that you can only get so much before, you know, you have to have a little more help to get by him. As we come to 2 to go this time around, I think. Or is it 3 or 2 to go? Where are we at?
It looks like we might have an overheating issue or something. The 7 really backed off there. Murray
Oh my
just
gosh.
about corkscrewed the bottom. Hoffman now up top side. It's the outside.
Oh.
Now has Hall going for the block.
Yeah, top is the line. Oh, block, huge block. They make him 3 wide for the top spot. Whoa, as they headed to 3. What a move by the 1 car. That's my pick. Let's go. Look at him. Dustin Hall in the lead.
Able to go from the wall to the lead. Coming to the white flank this time by. Final time around at heat number 1. Murray trying to push the back into the 1. They are pulling away by a sizable buffer. Here comes the rest of the pack.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to hang on to it. They got to act big, wide, and fast here. Here comes the outside line. That's William Owens trying to make it work on the outside line. I don't think it's going to work. 12 of Nolan Hodgkin. Got to get one more spot, that 12 car. If he's able to pass the 7, that would get him into the show. That's his chance. Let's see what he does. He goes to the outside.
He's making his move. Is it going to be enough? He's got the pull. Hodgson jumps to second. A side trap from Murray. Doesn't pull him back. The battle's
Oh, they
on for the
wreck.
win. They start colliding and wrecking. Hall blocks
gonna
for
make
the
it?
win. Hall wins the heat. Second goes to Hodgson. They
Yeah.
get the advance.
Oh, that's awesome. What a finish. And my pick, too. That's awesome. Heck yeah. That was, we got to talk to him after that. That was great.
These heats going to be very quick. We will have to get a chance to see if we can speak with him later on. Absolutely. But Dustin Hall goes on to the win. Hodgson second. Chris Davis, Alex Murray, and Sean O'Brien amongst your top 5. Owens finishing all the way back in 6th position. The rest of your field, Shane Davis, Hutchinson, Snyder, Wallen, and Hoffman finishes all the way back at the very end into 11th spot. Here is a look at your second grid. That's your heat number 2 lineup actually showing us heat
that's
1.
results. Okay.
So, yes, was about to say, your second heat will line up as such. As we get things all gathered up here, 11 cars in this field. Patrick Gitter, keep an eye on him throughout the season. He'll start alongside Jordan Person, Lucas Hoitzma, and Larry McDonald, the top 4. Robert Miller for Alta C Sports with Brandon Hastings in 6th. Bobby Anderson and Devin Medeiros, the top 8. Tanner Marty and Evan Mesnard will start in 10th. Adam Benefiel, a NASCAR crew chief over the years, will round out the field.
They're already on track, and I got to tell you right now, these guys, I mean, after watching that heat, don't you think they might be a little bit more antsy to get up to the front? I mean, any of those guys in the back, they didn't have any chance once they started getting 3 wide on the backstretch. They gotta get going, and they got to do it quick. And I think that the ones that I want to watch this time, Adam Benefiel, Mesnard, and Marty, the back 3, I think might have something pretty interesting if they are able to stay with the draft. That's the number one thing. I always like to see the underdogs do well, and right now they're starting in the back. It's going to be a hard fought race, but 10 laps, I think it's possible.
I think it's very possible if you play your cards right too. Absolutely. It's gonna be interesting though to see, do you expect it to be like we've seen where it stayed calm for about 7 of the laps, or do you expect it to be more intense from what we're about to see here?
No, a part of me really wants to see it get crazy, but maybe it's going to be a little of the same. I mean, I think that it's going to be wait around until you feel comfortable with it, and then you make your move with 3 or 2 to go, something like that. Very similar to what we saw. But I will say, I think that whoever controls the bottom, if you're on the top lane right now, get down. It is not going to be a lane you want to be in whatsoever. So I think the bottom is going to be something you're going to want to watch. The top side might disappear.
And more laps up on the board, our second heat of 4. Field is set to go. Green flag is out. We're underway once again.
Oh, yeah. I love the sound of those engines revving up as they head through the tri-oval here. Outside did not get a great jump, just like predicted. Here we go down into turn number 1. I gotta say, That outside line is just terrible on restarts. I don't see it working out very well tonight.
And the outside just not getting the momentum on either of these initial starts here. That inside line already taking up the first 6 positions. Benefield has gone up to 6th with that run. Person all the way to the back.
Yep.
And now we'll have to see what they plot and plan for this field on the bottom.
At this point, Larry McDonald and Person have got to get in line. They don't want to end up like the other 2 drivers in the first heat that lost the draft. But wow, look at that up front. We had a driver make a dive out to the outside. I believe that's a 97 of Lucas Hoeksma trying to lead this pack in front of, looks like Patrick Gitter. And on the outside, that's Robert Miller as well, battling for the top 3 spot.
Asians game, not really the same this time. A lot more intense up front. The tandem up front able to put the 97 to the point. Patrick Gitter wants his lead back though.
Yeah, they're just fighting for control of this race because they realize if you have the lead, you have a chance. That's how it works. You're a lot less prone to getting into a wreck when you're in the lead. So that outside, Benefield's trying to give a huge shot to Gitter. I don't know if that's going to get him up there. I think he's lost most of his momentum at this point, but we have a checkup on the bottom. Here it comes.
Gitter trying to run the wall, trying to avoid any potential side draft from the left side of the car. Gitter, over the years with Team Conti affiliation over the seasons, was one of the drivers who picked up a lot of assessment in this series. The first winner for FLCC when he won the Return 600 back at Charlotte.
Oh, somebody made him 3 wide. Wow, Benefield to the middle, sends him up to the wall and hangs him in the sucker hole. He's going all the way back.
Just got ditched. Speaking of runs though, Bobby Anderson just ducked in front. Now Hoeksma trying to block the lanes, trying to play some defense. It's almost like the battle of the bubble. Trying to control what's going on in front. The bubble keeps on getting popped.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing to see how often the lanes switch in terms of momentum. First it's the outside, it's the bottom. It keeps switching it back and forth, but up front we got a new leader right now. Bobby Anderson, he's the current owner of this league, and he has taken the lead and is leading some laps here at Daytona.
And we go back and forth when it comes to the blocks and the lines at the moment. A lot more race here so far in this one. Larry McDonald getting some bad pushes in the pack. Here's a look from the bumper of Benefield, from the cockpit should say. He tries to race side by side for the transfer.
I mean, it's even right now. I mean, side by side all the way through this field, going all the way back to Person, who's just at the tail end of the field. But that, oh my goodness, what an aggressive block by Hoeksma. Oh, he's going to try and squeeze him up into the wall. It's not enough. Huge shot coming in the middle, and bye-bye Bobby Anderson, going from the front to the back just like that.
Lee Gadman gets drop kicked to the back, and already 29 now trying to lead things on the bottom line. Tanner Marty has gone from 9th up to the transfer spots at the halfway point as a big lift. The 97 gets ditched.
Put him right in the sucker hole, as I like to say. Sends him right to the back with Bobby. So will Bobby try to help out the guy who put him out, or will he just try to pass him? I don't know. I think it's in his best interest to help him, though.
Oh, some contact. Bit of a tough block from Robert Miller. It's Miller now. He goes to the point with the help of Benefield. Brandon Hastings, also someone with the NASCAR experience in the Cruise. He's now in 3rd. Make it 4th for now.
Whoa, my cow, he just got put in the sucker hole as well, going all the way back. New leader as they cross the stripe is a 29 of Tanner Marty. Some went down below the yellow line there, trying to avoid a crash. That is absolutely crazy. Are we at like a wow, I cannot believe the type of driving we're getting in this heat race versus the first heat race, which is just chill. And now they're all over the place.
Yeah, no one's been able to establish a good pattern or sense of rhythm so far in this race. Now Miller tries to build a run. Benefield, Hastings, and more all amongst those, charging the way back to the front of the outside. That inside line had massive advantages from the cushion. Too big of an advantage.
Oh, Gitter's trying to get him in the middle. Look at that. He's going to get Hoeksma to try and help push him through the middle. Oh, gosh, that outside line had a big old run for a little while. And now it's evened out, but here comes Gitter to the bottom, trying to go for 5th.
Gitter has to be aggressive if he wants to get up there, has to force his way to lead the outside. 73, now up to second. That's Mesnard, who's gone from 10th to 2nd in this field. 2.5 laps to go. Gitter now able to lead the outside line.
Not a lot of help. He's going to need a big shove here to be able to stick with these guys. And I think Hoeksma's going to be willing to give it to him. But will anybody on the bottom line try to come up and block this with a leader? No, he does not. He puts himself in the sucker hole. There goes the 29, straight back.
He opened the door, and the 73 now has contact. Man. The inside line. So yeah, that inside line's lucky there wasn't a stack up. Benefield now leads the inside line up front. Coming around 2 laps to go, lap and a half to go in fact. The top 2 run the top. Now everybody's scattered apart. Here come the runs.
Oh, it's going to be a big old arrival when they get there. They're going to make a move and pass him quickly. Oh, no, he gives him a shove. Why on earth would he do that? That's a teammate if he is, but I'll tell you, that is something right there. He got stuck in the middle at 73. He is not happy. Guarantee it. White flag, white flag, white flag. 1 lap to go here in heat number 2.
Final time around, Gitter now to the point. Benefield with a push from Hastings on the bottom of the racetrack. Making the way through 1 and 2. Side by side, does anyone make it 3 wide down the back?
There goes Hoeksma. Oh, he gets turned hard into the wall. Around goes everybody in the back of the field, but up front, Benefield. He's got the lead.
Benefield running away with Brandon Hastings. Is this too far ahead? They've got a massive run. They can race it out themselves. The top 2 look secure. Will Hastings go around Benefield? He'll try. He'll steal it away. Hastings.
No, finish.
Hastings takes it at the line over Benefield.
Wow, man, what a finish. Oh, Hastings got him barely. What a finish. Wow, man, how do you pronounce that sponsor? Bamboo Lab? That's cool, man. That's a nice paint scheme.
Oh, Bamboo Lab able to work into the lab and up to the front. In the very end, Brendan Hastings able to drive by Anna Benefield, Patrick Gitter, Robert Miller. The next drivers behind Gitter the first out. Also, amongst those out, Person, Marty, and on the zeros, McDonald, Hoeksma, and Mesnard. Your top 10, 11th spot went the way of Bobby Anderson a lap down.
Wonder what happened to Bobby. I mean, he was up in that pack for quite a while. He just ended up losing a lap somehow.
Well, it's time for heat number 3, though. That's a look at the previous race order. This is the look at the lineup. Cameron Thompson on the pole. Tower Hunter in second. Then in third spot, it's Andrew Russo, Ryan Strunk, then Dave Hoeksma. Then you have Jason S. Taylor, Derek Heitman, along with Cameron Stone, Steve Bird, and then you have Matthew Long in the 10th spot. Again, remember, top 2 advance.
Man, this is a stacked field. I like this field as they come onto the racetrack here. I mean, I think that we're going to see I mean, at this point, they saw chaotic, and then they saw, at first it was really calm and nice, but then it was chaotic in Heat 2. I don't know what to expect for Heat 3. These guys, it depends on how much fun they want to have, I think, but they got to be safe out there. They can't keep driving like crazy, but somehow second Heat didn't end up all in the wall on lap 2. I mean, that was surprising to me, how well that they did all that crazy driving for as long as they did.
Well, we're about to see if we get the same tone as the first heat or the second heat or something in between, to say the very least. what if you have a preference of would be your preference? The calmness of Heat 1, the craziness of Heat 2, or would you want to be in the middle?
Well, that's a great question. I'll follow it up with another question. This isn't for points, is it? Because if it was for points, maybe I'd be a little more calm. But right now, this is a points-free race, no points necessary. So I'm going to go out there and go as crazy as humanly possible. That's what I would do. However, then again, I'm not on the track tonight. So we'll see what these guys come up with. But remember, it's just a 10-lap heat race. They got another one coming up here. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it's going to be exciting no matter what.
Heat number 3, ready to go. Green flag is out. We're underway. Once more from Daytona.
And the bottom line, just every one of these restarts seems to have a better start, but this time they're hanging tough on the outside, even have the advantage going into one for the first time all day. And who's leading that right now? That's Tyler W. Hunter in the 48 car. Getting a giant push from Jason S. Taylor. That's the only reason they are staying even with the bottom.
Of note, Ryan Struck did not take the green flag for this grouping, so 9 drivers fighting for the 2 spots. The 60 ditches the 48, drives himself to the race lead. Here comes Cameron Stone, though, with what could be described as one of the paint schemes of the field. We were talking about that 57's paint scheme earlier before tonight's broadcast.
On his bumper, it says, "I'm him, I've been him, I will continue to be him." What a like ultra Chad moment. I love that type of paint scheme with that much energy in that thing. It makes them say, hey, I'm out here, I'm gonna be in the front, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I do like that.
Hard push is coming out. So they move to the bottom of the racetrack. That was for Matthew Lawn, one of the drivers with some experience with Dirty South. We've seen his name pop up in various different leagues before. Usually does very well. Might be a threat for some top 10s throughout the season this year.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a lot of drivers in this little heat here that's going to end up being people to talk about all season, especially Heitzman, I think. He's making a move out to the outside line. Derek Heitman, I think he's going to actually have a chance at the championship this year. This car, I think, has a lot of capability as he's trying to hang on for second and take the lead here. He's from the Midwest, started 7th. He's already up 4 spots. Look at him. He's already getting a big shove down the backstretch. Will he be able to take the lead away from the 60 car going down into turn 3 from Jason S. Taylor?
I'm in one of the Ryko-backed entries in the field, representing Ryko's new Select Club that they unveiled over the offseason. That gold machine now gets itself a little bit of an edge up front into the race lead. Should expect some speed absolutely from those cars. They have been, well, that brand name, to say the very least, has been the setup to beat in officials when it comes to long distance races at NIS.
Well, that is absolutely for sure. Whenever people want to be able to get, it's very difficult to be able to compete against that type of deal that they got. But right now, I think the outside line is going to end up crashing here very shortly unless they get down, because that bottom line is starting to organize a little bit better than the top. But somehow they're hanging on to it up there. I'm kind of surprised they've been there for as long as they have without getting freight trained yet.
Coming up to 6 laps to go already. We've got the third option.
Door banging.
Yeah, that time a little bit of a rough line from Russo. But we've seen the mixture of the two. Intense racing up front, but a lot more calmness compared to the back and forth pack is scattered from before.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Justin. I mean, this is I guess if Daytona could be called calm, this is calm 2-wide racing right now, give or take, But there is a lot of side drafting going on, and I was surprised that that's the case. In the second heat, the outside line took right up against the wall for the majority. Oh, man, he just went right in that hole. I think that outside line is doomed to fail now.
Decided to build himself some momentum and get that outside recharged a little bit.
Oh, gosh, there he goes. Oh, no. No caution, though. It's the car we all loved. Oh, it was him. It was him.
Cameron Stone, hard contact to the inside wall, no caution. He's off the racing surface. We stay green.
Oh, you got a feel for him. He had such a great attitude coming into this. It's unfortunate, but I think that we also lost not just him. Tyler Hunter also stopped on the back straightaway. He's out of the race as well.
So in bin number 7, just past halfway. And now Dave Huntsma working with Matthew Long. They might be at risk of losing the draft, actually. But now...
Oh, no, they're good. No, they're good. They're going to catch right back up.
Field looking to reset itself, though, with less than 4 laps to go.
You know, this reminds me, if anyone remembers watching the Daytona Clash in 2020 when there was only like 4 or 5 cars left in the field, I'm getting similar vibes from Matthew Long and Dave Hutzma. Because if it looks like Denny Hamlin and Eric Jones here trying to push each other past all the other cars. I don't know if it's going to happen, but they really are working hard, and that 26 is not helping them whatsoever.
Yeah, the more they run side by side like this, where they keep pulling each other back like this, the more costly this is going to be in terms of where they are in terms of the lines. But right now, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah, I was going to say that with the top 4 at this point, put yourself in Derek Heitonen's shoes. You're sitting there, you're 1 spot away from getting into this race to get into the next round. What are you going to do? How are you going to get by Jason Taylor or Russo to try and make it into the main event tonight? I don't know what he's got planned, but I think that car might have something very special coming up.
Coming up to 2 laps to go. Just waiting for the right time to go. And right now, those in the back getting a little bit antsy at the moment. Again, those in the transfers at the moment. Russo, Taylor. Hyman the first out. Cameron Stone had lost draft from that incident. 1 lap down to Tyler Hunter. Those are the only drivers that have fallen out of this pack. As the entire line, no one wants to duck out yet.
We got one that just ducked out, but he's gonna not have any help. So I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to do. Trying to make his engine cool down or something? No, he's making a move. That's Stephen Bird to the outside for 4th. He's getting pushed by Hotzma, and Hotzma's been pushed by Long as they come to the white flag. 1 lap to go.
Final time around. Right now, the outside line not getting organized. They are swerving behind Stephen Bird. Right now, he's still not getting the momentum. Heitman has nobody to potentially work with, looking for a setup. Here comes Thompson. Thompson now gets blocked by Heitman. Here comes that run.
Here we go. This is what we all love as we come through turns 3 and 4. Is he going to get a move? Oh, the 26. Now he just dumps the 13, but the leaders, I don't think they have anything for him. Here he comes to the line.
Checker flag waves. Andrew Russo takes heat number 3. Jason S. Taylor also move on with him.
Oh, man. What a finish. That one was not as exciting as the other 2, gotta admit, but great expert job by Russo and also, let's see, what was his name? Taylor. Russo and Taylor, masterclass. They ran up front, they stayed up front the whole race, and the crazy part is, I think they started on the outside line, at least one of them did, and that still got them a good finish, so that was phenomenal. Great job on both parts.
And Andrew Russo taking the checker flag by 0.048 seconds. They're speeding their way to pit road easily here. Let's take a look at the lineup quickly. Russo, Taylor moving on. Heitman, Bird, along with Thompson, Huntsma, Long, Stone, Hunter, and along with Strunk, all not advancing in heat number 3. That leaves us with one more grouping of cars to go before we get to the LCQ portion of tonight's racing action. The lights have now gone fully asunder around the racetrack. Let's take the opportunity to look at the lineup in the next moment or so. An interesting name to start off this lineup once again here. It is our man's John Petrovic who will start on the pole. Then it's Christopher Hill in the NASCAR Cup iRacing Series this season. He'll start second alongside Jonathan Delaney and Kevin Soziak. Then you have Komek Kowski will start in the 5th position. Berkeley, Reeves, Robinson, Jones, and Ryan, your top 10.
Yeah, Cole Macheski is definitely one of those names that's going to take a while for us to be able to get down, but I love his paint scheme. If you take a look at that 88 car, I swear it's almost like you can't even see it. Where the heck is that car? It's missing. I don't even know where it is. It's practically not even on the racetrack.
But this should be an interesting one to keep an eye on with the different lineup, to say the very least. But also knowing you've got a wide range of experience in this field with NASCAR drivers abound in this pack.
Oh, Christopher M. Hill. I think he's going to be the guy to beat. With this guy, he is racing in the Coke Series, and I tell you what, it takes a lot of guts to get up to that series. And it's going to be exciting to see how he's able to control the lines. Maybe he's going to need some help. No one can do it alone. So, he's got to rely on the car starting right behind him. And I think that's going to be Kevin Koziak. And if he doesn't get on his bumper and push early, that outside line, as we've seen in heats 1, 2, they will go straight to the back.
Again, happy with us tonight on Maconi Entertainment. For those tuning in, currently in the midst of our FLCC 500 clash tonight. So we're just about ready.
Yep, yeah, I tell you what, that pace car is going to dive off. Let's get going.
Green.
Oh yeah, man, let's see it. That bottom line did not get a good start, and the outside line actually beat the leader to the flag. I don't know if there's a penalty for that, but he definitely was not the first to the line.
The black flag in sim, but both lines getting good momentum. The last 2 heats, see the outside have some great runs. Hill to the point.
Huge push. There he goes. Yeah, that outside line might be the one you want to be in. I don't know if he's going to hang out of the outside line or not. That bottom line needs to get pushing right now. Oh, they just moved right back down to the bottom. And we'll see contact between the 3rd place car and the 4th place car. That's going to be Billy Brickley and Armin's there in the 90 car, making slight contact as they complete lap number 1.
It all looks like that outside line dying off just like that, but expecting that 96 to be very quick throughout this entire time here at Daytona. We'll have to see how he's going to fare out throughout the race. Jonathan Delaney also in the category of NASCAR competitors.
Yeah, he's running right now in 4th place. He's probably going to end up just, he doesn't look like he's pushing. He's not all over the rear bumper, the 90. He's just giving a nice gap there. And I think he's just going to wait for his time. I don't think he's going to make any crazy moves unless someone pushes him to make that move unexpectedly. Or not. Look at him do it right then and there. My gosh. You can never underestimate the aggressiveness of a Coke driver.
Former Coke driver, in fact, but he's also a 2-time 100% Cup Series champion. He also is the all-time wins leader in the FLCC. So Delaney expecting him to be fast once more throughout this season.
Wow. And that outside line's building up. Take a look at it. Here they come down the backstretch into turn number 3. It is pretty good pushing. Oh, outside block. What a move by that coach. Let's see if I get the name right. Christopher Hill going straight up and blocking Delaney.
So just like that, 2 of the hot rods in the field, 1 and 2. That might make it difficult to make the move, because here's the thing. You get 2 fast cars grouped together, it can make it so difficult, depending on your setup situation, to get that momentum on the outside to get alongside them.
100% correct. Yeah, it's going to be really hard. The whole field is going to have to go against these guys, because they know that they are really talented drivers, and you can't do it alone. we're going to see what happens here. But we got Reeves making a move for 5th back here, side by side. He's going to lose a lot of momentum and go straight back. My goodness. But the top 4 seem to have gotten a little gap here.
Yeah, just a small buffer. How long does that last? We'll have to wait and see right now. Kevin Soziak, seen that name pop up in various different leagues. The Ladybug machine currently riding in the 4th position in that train.
Oh, it's going to be chugga-chugga-choo-choo for a while. Man, it's going to be a while before we see any craziness. But I think at this point, if you are in the back half of the field, yeah, exactly what they're doing right now. You got to get up out of line. You can't just ride single file and expect to make it to the next round. You got to try something. Maybe get on the radio, convince that guy in front of you, hey, if you get up here, I promise I'll push you to victory, whatever it is. But you got to make some plans right now because you only got, what, 5 laps to go, 4 laps to go?
5 laps left to go. And yeah, we've got what we've seen in the first heat, just like that. Somebody's going to have to step out if they want to make a move.
Oh, man, I like that 44 paint scheme. I didn't realize that was in there. If you saw that, I think it was, who is that? That 44 car there. I don't have that on my screen. I don't see the same thing. Billy Brickley. It's very retro looking, like an old video game paint scheme.
That's the throwback to the Buckshot Jones paint scheme from him. And right now the 44 just riding along, trying to maintain a rhythm. They've ditched Ryan S. Jones and Michael Reeves, by the way. They both just lost the pack.
Oh no, man! Their hearts are probably broken at this point. They're gonna have to hope and pray something crazy happens here in the last 4 laps as we head down into turn number 2 and out of onto the backstretch. It's single file. I mean, this is the type of racing that, like, you know, you expect to see in a 200-lapper race, not in a 10-lap race, but they're still just buying their time, waiting for the right moment. But I don't think that they lost the draft quite yet because they're coming back pretty close.
Might have just maintained a whiff of the draft just to be able to keep the speed up, just barely. But
barely.
Yeah, coming to 3 laps to go. Will they take the move? Yes, they will. Outside line, Ryan Jones.
I don't know if he's got the help. I really don't think he's got much help. I mean, he's going to need a lot more. That 3 car needs to get up in front of him if he really wants to have a chance. That's going to be his best bet. 3's got to come up right here, right now.
And the answer is no. No one moved up. No one wanted to go yet. Now somebody does. That's Brickley. That's making a cut. Ed Ryan also ducks out.
Oh, at this point, though, there's a big gap from the 4th car to the 5th car, and they're side by side for 5th. At this point, they both got to get pushing hard. This is it. As we come down to get 2 to go. Oh, man, I don't know how this is going to finish, but I don't have a good feeling. It might get a little hectic.
Expecting the hecticness to pick up in the next moment. Zosiak thought about ducking out to the outside, didn't get the block off. Now on the run side by side for 4th. Here comes the move now for 3rd. No defensive maneuvers from anyone up front.
Brickley is pushing as hard as he can. I mean, at this point, I'm worried about his engine, but he's pushing, and I don't think he's lifting until he sees God or the checkered flag, as they would say. He's pushing hard. Oh, almost turned Ryan there, but he's going to hang on to it as we come down on the straightaway to get the white flag. 1 lap to go.
Final time around in the final heat race of the night. Hill still leads Delaney under attack for the bubble spot. Ryan loses momentum. Will anybody else attempt the run as Delaney tries to push Hill away?
Oh, here he goes down the back. We got to run now. Look at the 88. He's going to dive up. That's going to make the outside. Oh, goes up to block. That's Hill trying to block on Kumachevsky. They're 3 wide with Ryan in the middle. Squeezing contact. Oh my gosh, they are trying to wreck, and they do. But coming out of 4, it's Ed Ryan and Christopher Hill battling for the finish. Oh, into the wall goes Hill. And it's Jonathan Delaney who's going to get the transfer spot from that. What?
Unreal. Ed Ryan right behind the leader as he ran away, pulled away. Ryan sharply hard right into the wall, crashed, and lost the transfer.
Oh my gosh. I mean, he's heartbroken. There's no way. I hope he's okay. But I mean, we got to see that replay because that wreck, wow. That was something that I cannot believe that I just saw. What got him loose like that? I have no idea. He made a move to the bottom. I don't even know.
Let's see. Yeah, just watch this. He got blocked by Hill at the bottom and then just turned a hard right.
Yeah. Man. Oh my gosh. That's disastrous. I mean, he was gonna make the field. He was gonna be in. But oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. That is scary too. Oh man.
Wow.
Hellacious accident.
So again, moving on, Hill and Delaney, Reeves, Ryan, Jones, Komacheski, Robinson, Petrovic out, along with Kevin Sosiak and Brickley. There's a look at the results right there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think at this point we got two mains coming up, the C main, the B main, and then we got the feature, right?
Yes, those would be the LCQs essentially, where 6 would move on to the feature. 20 laps up the board. Here's a look at the first LCQ running order with Chris Davis and Derek Heitman on the front row. You also have in this field going to be Alex Murray and Stephen Baird, along with O'Brien Jr. and Thompson, the top 6. 7th spot, Owens, Hoytsma in 8th. Then you have Shane Davis and Matthew Long, your top 10.
Ralph Hutchinson's going to be starting in the 11th place spot with 12th, Cameron Stone. And going on to the next page here, we got Andreas Schneider starting in 13th with Tyler Huntley to his outside in 14th. 15th is Daniel Llewellyn, and 16th is Ryan Strunk, with the final start position being 17th, Clayton Hoffman in the 92.
That's what's on the bottom of the running order for our LCQs. Once again, remember, 20 laps or 30 minutes, whatever comes first. Caution laps do not count in the LCQ. 6 move on. Your keys to the LCQ, where a lot more drivers move on. You won't have track position for the feature. However, you're running the same race distance as the feature.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. At this point, I think that if you have any teammates or any friends, and you got to have some friends here that want to work with you, get a train of 3 like we were talking about earlier with the 3-car train draft that you got, the bump drafting with 3 cars. Get them together, stick together, and you might be one of the 6. I think that at that point, winning this race is not as important as finishing in the top 6, I think. As much as a win feels great, I mean, you want to advance. So at this point, I don't know what these guys are going to be willing to do, but it's definitely going to be something to behold when we go green here very shortly.
Just about ready to go for the LCQ portion of the night. Green flag is out. We're underway.
All righty then, here we go. C main, let's see it. Oh man, both lines staying even. The outside line's going to get a little shove, but not for long. They're staying even as they head through 1 and 2. I don't see anyone trying that 3rd lane quite yet, but yeah, at this point, just getting through the gears. Make sure you don't miss a shift, and you'll be just fine as we head down the back. Outside looks to have a little momentum.
Good momentum up top side. Heitman now leading the field. So now, knowing you have a lot more wiggle room in terms of transfers, but a lot more cars in this field, what are we going to see here is going to become the main question. Still staying side by side, at least to start here.
Yeah, they're going to be extremely defensive of the top 6 spots. Before the wreck might have happened around 3rd or 4th place, but this time it might be around 7th or 8th because they're all right up front. 3rd place gets spun. Huge crash on his side. The 13 car on his slide is Cameron Thompson. Just as I say that, they wrecked from 3rd. Commentator curse. Oh, that's horrible.
Caution flag is out for the first time the entire evening, and that just collected a lot of competitors, including Thompson and Snyder, with meatball flags.
Oh man, that is absolutely atrocious, man. That's sad. I hate to see it, but it's hard racing up front. That's what we're gonna have. Let's take a look at this. Here comes the 76 on the outside, getting the push from the 26. But oh yep, that's a bad push right there. Slightly missed the push. Sends the 13 up on his side with the 26. Oh man, that is so sad. Cameron Thompson's day is done, and the 26, I think, might be able to repair some damage. I don't know if he's out 100%, but man, that's just a rough push there. Who was that was given the push? 26, right?
Yes, but you normally don't push in the middle of the corner, even with this car. There's so much risk. There's so much risk when you push in the corner.
Yeah, especially with a 20-lap race. It's what are we on, lap 2? And that's unfortunate. I mean, you got to understand, like, you know, where you are. I mean, you're in a transfer spot. You don't need to push too hard, you know. Bird there just a little over-aggressive, a little too early, unfortunately, it looks like.
That's going to cost a lot of people's opportunities, possibly. Matthew Lawn, significant damage as well in that. Getting repairs. Steve Bird also amongst those who are in the pit lane, getting repairs at the moment. But remember, these laps that are now turning under caution do not count. You still have what will be 18 laps to go when the green flag flies. There goes Derek Heitman to get his repairs done as well.
A lot of cars coming down pit lane. I mean, at this point, why not? I mean, the yellow flag laps don't count. It's okay to come on down and get something. It's not going to hurt. It's not really going to help either unless you have damage and you want to get that fixed. They come into their pit stalls, they'll get some work done. But when they get out of these pit stalls at this point, maybe they realize how crazy it was and they might want to lag back. Considering this is the first caution out of all the heats so far. This is the first caution for incident across the board, and it's in the last chance qualifier number 1. So I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with these guys, but riding in the back sounds kind of good up until about 10 to go. We'll have to see what they decide to do.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, the answer is obviously get the damage repaired. So yeah, but now it's going to be the question on how the rest of this field is going to race it on out. Still, this is a long track for pace laps. If there's an air caution flag, we might have the race go to time instead. There is a risk of that.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know about that time limit. You know, time is always something that really puts it's like weather. Whenever you're in a real life race, if you got rain coming, yeah, I mean, it throws in a wrench to every bit of strategy you have. It might not make you want to run in the back. Instead, it's got to push you forward, and you want to be up front all the time instead of at a single moment. So because you don't know when the race will end. So with it being a 30-minute mark, I mean, we just want to see them get clean to the finish. Hopefully they drive that way safely to get to the end. But then again, this is for a spot in the clash. It doesn't matter. It's not for points. Doesn't matter. We're going to go out here and we're going to drive and try to win every time.
Steel's LCQ analysis details. Once going to remind you, no green-white checkers in this race. The time going to be of the essence. Open setups throughout the entire night for these said races here. Just about getting ready. Turn those lights off the iRacing pace car here. Lights are out. Davis up in front. Murray in second. Owens and Shane Davis will be in your top 4 for the restart. Some of these drivers moving up at least 6 or 7 spots because of this crash for the first caution.
Yeah, so the thing is on because the caution laps don't count, it doesn't actually, on my end, I'm not seeing the update, the running positions update quite yet, but I think we're going to have to see. My hope for this race at this point is that these guys see that wreck as a potential, like, hey, okay, we had our fun, time to slow her down a little bit, try to simmer down and just get down to the end of this, and then we can go crazy. But if we're going to have a caution every 2 laps, then that's going to cause some problems to where we will probably hit that 30-minute mark. and that will change, could have the possibility of finishing under caution.
I'd see if that becomes a possibility, absolutely, here. Hoping it doesn't become that big of an attrition race here.
Oh, me too, man. Me too, 100%.
But still have a sizable amount of cars in the field. Only one driver, make it two, who are out. Thompson and Snyder did not make it back to the racetrack. Steven Berta has picked up a black flag during this caution cycle as well in the 25 car in sim, 26 on track. So we'll see how that is going to be played out for him. He was originally fourth at the time of the caution flag. So ready to go.
I think that was the cause of the accident. That's probably why he got the black.
Believe so. Believe so, absolutely. So now, ready to get back going. Green flag is out. We're backing away.
All right, that bottom line looks a little more organized than the top this time around, but we'll see what the push looks like as they head down into turn number 1. My goodness. I mean, there's a lot of separation from the top 8 or so. Going back further, I'm not sure if they picked up more damage in the back of the pack, but there is large separation there.
Yeah, big amount of separation. That involves some of the drivers with damage, including Lawn, who now lose the draft for the pack. Religiously in the top, Ralph Hutchinson doing really good in this race, already up to 6th.
Oh, wow. I mean, at this point, very surprised to see Shane P. Davis up here. He's given a great shot up here into Alex Murray. I mean, they're doing what they have to do, but that 8 car right behind them of Ralph Hutchinson is going to try and lead the bottom line. I don't know if that's our best idea right now, but that 74 is going to try and convince him that it is. That's Chris Davis in the number 74 car.
Derek Heitman trying to go all the way back to the front, is taking it 3 wide as well.
Wow, man, what a move, going 3 wide in the middle. That puts a 79 of Dave Hoetzma. I don't know if he's going to be in a good position here. There's a lot of side drafting going on. Oh, door banging as they head down the straightaway. That's the William Owens door banging with the 76 of Derek Heitman. They're still 3 wide. Maybe they can keep this up for a little longer. Make some more entertainment, why don't they? That's awesome.
Hyman again going 3 wide. He's been compared by league admins in the past being like a Ross Chastain characteristic. Big push to the back of the Hoffman. That was dangerous. So was that bump.
Oh my gosh, they held on to it. That 8 car, he was driving like crazy. Ralph Hutchinson, he was doing everything he could to hang on to that race car, and he did a great job doing it, but that's made a huge separation in the pack. If Dave Hoetzma and the 57 car of Cameron Stone, they got to get single file quickly. They are going to lose that lead draft if they continue to sit 3 wide back there. But up front, the leader still is, at this time, Shane P. Davis, followed by Clayton Hoffman, Alex Murray, Derek Heitman, Ralph A. Hutchinson rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, all of them just staying in the line right now. Still less than 15 laps to work with here. And we're starting to see some people lose the draft here, possibly. See these, lots of cars have lost the draft. Hunter, Lewon, along with O'Brien, Junior Stone, Dave Hoetzma, have all lost touch with this front group.
They were going 10 miles an hour slower than the cars in the lead pack just a moment ago. If I were in this lead pack right now, stay single file. Let those guys lose the draft. Let's get as fast as we can, but we have some guys trying to make some moves up in the front right now. 74 and the 28, they're running pretty hard up in the front there to the point where they themselves might lose the draft. They got to stick in line. But yeah, that backpack that we're talking about, the 48 there, they got to stay single file and work together as a team to try and catch back up to this lead pack. And it does not look like they're doing that whatsoever.
Yeah, if anything, stay in line and work together isn't going over the headsets to them. Couple
Not
drivers
whatsoever.
swap. Yeah, a couple drivers swapping up front as well. Shane P. Davis up front, Hoffman, Murray, Heitman, Hutchinson, Owens are the ones in the transfer. Despite all that contact for Lawn, he's the first driver out of the moment.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, this is the top 8 guys. These guys, I believe that there are 8 of them that are in this lead pack. And that means if we stay green to the end like this, that means 2 of these drivers will not make the next race if we stay green, which is going to be needing a huge miracle here, because we're going to have 2 guys in the back 2. They are going to try to pass as much as possible, but I think that 6th place car might go up the block if that does end up happening later in the race, but only because there's 8 of them. They can just ride and they can fight amongst themselves in the last lap at this point.
Still, a couple people might get left out of the cold here if it stays the way it's going right now, and nobody wants to make the move too early here. Talking about some of the other drivers in this field, who else has really impressed you in the months this pack so far with how they've been able to handle the driving so far coming to halfway?
Well, that's a great question. I'll tell you right now, the #1 car that's surprising me is the guy who started dead last in this race, and that is Clayton Hoffman. He's running in 2nd, started dead last in this LCQ, and look at him. He's already in the top 2. That shows why he is he is one of the top performers in this full-length Cup Challenge series that they have. He is an absolute masterclass when it comes to staying up front, and it doesn't matter where he starts. He can start dead last or not. He's going to end up in the front, and I think he's doing a great job of trying to keep the lead car going and keeping that pack well separated from the cars that have lost the main draft.
It was very impressive on the way to that championship too, by the way. He ended up winning the regular season title, then of course the season championship. He had a top 10 in every race last season in this series.
Yeah, I mean, that alone, considering how many races there were, it's actually amazing that this guy can finish in the top 10 as much as he does. But, I mean, at this point, he doesn't need a top 10. He needs to do a little better than that. He needs to get a top 6, and he's doing just fine at the moment. He's got to be able to show why he deserves to be in this main clash.
Past the halfway point in this field, by the way. Still continuing to ride along to the choo-choo train and keep things patient at the moment. So at the moment as well, going to be very important to make sure you don't cause yourself temperature issues here in the midst of this pack. A lot of people giving space, no one really pressurizing anybody to keep the momentum moving forward here, knowing the situation.
Yeah, there's no pressure. I mean, at this point, when you're in this pack, it's probably the most comfortable feeling you'll ever have in a race car. Is if you're in the top 4 spots, maybe 5, I mean, you feel pretty confident that you're going to make it to the next round without a caution here. And there's a lot of lifting. If you're riding on board, you could hear the cars in the back of the field, like Chris Davis running in 8th right now. He's not pushing crazy hard. He's lifting, and you could hear it in his engine. He lets off pretty good. Trying to just make sure he doesn't run into the back of the cars in front of him. He would have a ton of momentum, but he wants to make sure he sticks with the pack so he doesn't make any crazy moves and lose that side draft to make him lose momentum. One thing I do got to say is these drivers have shown that, you know, patience is key right now. They got to be patient. They can't just go out there and drive 3 wide all the time. If they want to win in advance, they got to do what they're doing right now.
And right now, they're doing exactly what they need to do with a 3-second buffer over that other pack, by the way, running 45.9s in the lead group. 45.3s the last time behind the air pack. So the air pack is starting to finally work together. Here's the thing, they had to do so by subtraction in the air pack where they lost an additional car. So keep an eye on things as we might see these packs converge again.
Looking at it right now, I mean, it is actually phenomenal to see this second pack. They have gained quite a bit of time. They're already 2.5 seconds back last time they were at the stripe. We'll check that again when they hit the start-finish line again. But these guys are running at least 5 or 6 miles an hour faster than the lead cars, which is going to make this finish even more chaotic. Because now that's gonna, if they can get there in time, we'll see how much ground they picked up when they crossed the stripe here. Last time it was 2.486. This time when they cross the stripe, they are approximately, that was 4/10 faster. So at this point, they're gaining 4/10 a lap. And once they get under a second, it'll be even more. So, I mean, I think they might catch them. There's a chance here.
Strong chance. In fact, they're almost back in drafting distance. And once these packs converge, it can get very wild. These main pack, not as much energy, with more cars dissipating that energy. They're now just about in that toe of this group. Coming to 5 laps to go. And now, when do you make the move is the question.
I mean, I think at this point, with knowing the second pack is going to get there, you want to get in front of it when it hits your back bumper. So right now, Chris Davis has got to be thinking, okay, when these guys get to me, I am going to make sure I'm leading them. I'm going to let them hit me as hard as they can. But I do got to commend one driver in that back group. Sean O'Brien has really done a great job with Cameron Stone and Tyler Hunter of getting this pack all the way back to the lead draft, which is phenomenal. Doing this in a pack of 4 against this giant pack of cars is really saying something. And, man, we got to give them all the props. They're there. Here they come. Already going to the top.
Here they go, looking to take spots, some big blocks to break the momentum. William Owens making that block. Matthew Long now moves up top side. So the pack is now up to double digits once again. Ralph Hutchinson moves up top side himself. Now Heitman moves up top. Everybody getting uncomfortable.
Oh,
now they're
my
crashing.
gosh!
There
goes the 8. Oh, no.
Caution flag is out. Hutchinson spins. And it comes with less than 5 laps to go.
Oh, no. Now we're going to... do they have green... the caution flag laps don't count. They're gonna, oh no, we're gonna get some good finish here, aren't we? It's gonna be chaos. But that wreck, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man, but I gotta tell you, that 8 car, I mean, it looked really scary. I thought he was going over. But now he's keeping it on the track and keeping it going. We'll see if he's able to get that damage repaired. What caused that? Let's take a look.
Seen things get chaotic block after block, and then things boiled over down the backstretch.
Yeah, the 28 was looking for a hole that wasn't really, it was there, but it wasn't really there. Man, I mean, at that point, you know, lifting might have helped a little bit, but I mean, it's a racing incident. It obviously wasn't on purpose. And I'm so sad for O'Brien. Sean O'Brien just got clipped in that as well. That's not at all what you want to see. But that's the 8 car of Ralph Hutchinson and also the 28 of Matthew Long. It's unfortunate, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to continue.
O'Brien is out of the race, by the way.
Oh, he is? Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, he was. There wasn't a hole. There was no hole there, and it's unfortunate. He collected a lot of cars, man. But he's still on the racetrack. Matthew Long is. So I mean, he's going to have another chance here at possibly getting something done. As it looks like pit road's open this time. Actually, no, it is still closed. Pit road is closed. But why? I'm confused. The red lights were on.
Well, it is open. So as they get the damage repaired, let things cool on down here. Again, under caution here with less than 4 laps to go when we get back underway. Again, you're watching Maconi Entertainment. Why don't we take a step aside for a moment? We come back to the restart here from Daytona.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Lights on top of the iRacing pace car as we continue the clash here tonight for the FLCC. Currently getting ourselves ready to go to get back underway with Davis, Hoffman, Murray, Heitman, Hutchinson, and Long in the transfer spots. Getting back in position here for tonight's action. Justin Prince alongside Kirk Mills. Just about ready to go. Your thoughts here as we get ready for the restart.
Oh, hell's about to break loose, as my grandfather would once say. Right before the start of these races, we'll see what's going to happen. But right now, everybody outside the top 6 has got to do whatever it takes to get up in front of these guys. I think that there might be some 3-wide moves, but I would not recommend them go to the middle like we just saw previously. I mean, at this point, we'll see what they are willing to do to make it to the main event. This is what it's all about. What are you willing to do to make it to the main?
That's the huge question mark. Going to be about a 3-lap shootout to decide it here in this one.
I think that you guys should keep your eye on the 48 car. He was the guy who led that second pack, and that means he's good at getting pushed. So if I was somebody, I think I would want to push that 48 car. He might get me all the way to the front, and that's Tyler Hunter, currently sitting in 7th.
First one out. Can he move himself into the transfer spots? We're about to find out here as the iRacing pace car ready to duck down and off and away. Coming to 3 laps to go. The LCQ continues.
Owens trying to look like he was going to go to the bottom, but he did not make it in time. He goes a little farther back, and that outside line is going to fall apart. They don't have the organization that they've had the last few restarts. They're going to need to get a huge shove to be able to stick with these top 2. I think it's starting to develop a little bit. We'll see. That 76 is a heck of a pusher. Derek Heitman pushing the back of the 92 of Clayton Hoffman. Pretty good here, trying to keep that outside line relevant.
Still pushing hard to the back of the Nitro Racing Builder. Now he's got the momentum going as the inside line dissipates a little bit. Coming to 2 laps to go here for the first LCQ.
All right, baby, this is it. 2 laps to go. This is my favorite part of the race. 2-lap dash. Let's see who's got it. Oh, the outside line's got the momentum, and he leaves the 79 out to dry. That's Shane B. Davis going straight to the back with Matthew Long trying to push him. 7 dives down to be the leader of the bottom line now. And that outside line is just 4 cars pushing as hard as they can. The battle for 6th place is heating up.
Going up to the white flag this time by. Still side by side for the top 6 positions. The first one out coming to the white flag is still car 48, Tyler Hunter. Hunter might have a chance if he gets himself moving forward to the back of Chris Davis here. Side by side for the race lead. Here comes Owens to the point.
Owens up to the front of the pack as we are in the white flag lap. This is the last one of the day, folks. Here they come for the LCQ number 1. Still side by side for a second. He comes up the block, the 92. Huge shot coming. Oh, into the wall. Goes to 30. He's still banging. They're door banging as they head down the backstretch. Who's going to get through to win the race? 74 of Chris Davis. Chris Davis and Alex Murray are pulling away from the rest of the pack with Ralph A. Hutchinson as your top 3. Daniel Llewellyn is running in 4th right now with William Owens in 5th. And the battle for 6th is 2 slow cars. It's either Tyler Hunter or Shane P. Davis.
Who's going to get it? Believe it's going to be yes. Shane P. Davis gets the final transfer.
Man, what the heck happened? That was amazing. Oh, wow.
Wow, indeed. Chris Davis, Alex Murray, Ralph Hutchinson, Daniel Llewellyn, William Owens, Shane Davis all advanced. Half the field finished as a DNF. At least 4 drivers got disqualifications for incident points the final lap. Let's take a look.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe what I just saw. All those cars wrecking. The 30 came up the block, 92, but the 76 had a big run. What is he going to do with it? He runs into the 92, which sends the 30 car spinning around. And oh my gosh, just everybody just started wrecking. That's crazy.
A lot of people getting DQ back there. And a lot of contenders out of the race in the very end of this one.
Oh, man. Now that the champion of last season is out with that one, I think.
Yes, indeed he is. But the rest of our field getting set to go. Here's a look at the results from the clash for LCQ number 1. Shane Davis on the cut. Then you have Tyler Hunter and Clayton Hopper, the only 2 drivers to finish that last lap. Heitman and Lawn amongst the DNF list. For that one along with Stone, Dave Hudsma, along with Brian Jr., Baird, Thompson, Snyder, and Strunk.
Yeah, if you would have told me that the distance from 1st to 6th would have been over 10 seconds, I wouldn't have believed you. That's incredible.
Let's take a look at LCQ number 2. Patrick Gitter starts at the pole. Then alongside of Michael Reeves, Robert Miller, and Ed Ryan, the top 4 positions. Then it's Jordan Person and Ryan S. Jones in 6th. Tanner Marty, and rounding out your top 8 will be the 88 machine. Madero's and Robinson, your top 10.
Then 11th is going to be Larry McDonald. 12th is going to be Armin's. John Trepovics. I tried. I really did try that one. That's starting in 12th. As we come down to 13th, Lucas Hoetzma going to be starting there in the 97 car. 14th is Kevin Sozak, and that's in the 37 with 15th place is Evan Mesnard, and 16th Billy Brickley, and finally the owner of the league starting in 17th, Bobby Anderson.
We'll talk to bottom of the running order once more. Your thoughts for LCQ number 2?
Man, at this point, don't wreck and you might make it. That sounds like if we have anything to learn from the first LCQ, do not get into an accident. I mean, at this point, they're going broke. They're going to try and win every single one of these races. We have just seen it. And I don't think it's going to be exactly the same. I don't think it's going to be necessarily everyone crashing at the end. But, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. It was definitely the best finish of the night goes to the one just a moment ago.
Green flag is out. We're underway for our second LCQ. And already a clean start for the field.
Outside line did not get going whatsoever that time. The bottom 4 I've already checked out. They are side by side for the 4th car in line on the bottom. battling for the 4th spot right there. That is also, just to make sure we get the names in there, Michael Reeves battling with the 29 and Tanner Marty on the bottom.
Now we'll have to see what these drivers do in terms of their line arrangements as the momentum comes in. Gitter not having any luck. In fact, Ryan does not want to push him.
Not at all. Wow. That 00 car of Michael Reeves, guess where he's going? Right to the back. Nobody is willing to push this guy.
Reeves all the way to the back. Absolutely, you're right. And that's going to be very hurtful for them, for the transfers, for the time being at the very least. And it's got to be frustrating for the others in the line where you're thinking, oh, let's try and move forward. You don't control that really based outside of your position at all. And now you're going to the back.
Yeah, it's not something that you want to see happen. I mean, I tell you what, one of the worst feelings as a driver is when you finally got a little bit of a run and you go to the outside, but the car in front of you just does not want to go. They are driving pretty aggressively in the back. I've seen a few aggressive lane changes, especially from that 88 car, which is very hard to see tonight with how much camo is on it. But I can barely see he's there, and he is making some aggressive moves out of the gate tonight. Oh, into the wall. The 00 just rubbed right up against it. Man, what is going on in the 00 car tonight? He might have something going on inside that car.
That doesn't earn your friends either.
No, it does not. That is for sure not going to earn very many. But, I mean, up front, if we take a look, the top 6 are currently the ones that advance, and they're all single file. Everybody else is just chilling out in the back, waiting and trying to get up to the front, but it's going to take a lot of momentum to be able to make that work. But guess who's leading that outside line now? It is Lucas Hutzma, and I think he has a lot of speed, a great setup, and Jones has got to get on his bumper and push him right up to the front.
Lucas Hutzma considered Mr. Consistent, by the way, Kirk. When it comes to competition, he was the 2023 Championship 4 representative in the 100% series. Also a regular season points champion that campaign.
Wow. I mean, the thing is, I'm learning about this series as much as everybody else, and I got to tell you, if that's the case, that's awesome. Mr. Consistent, I love it. Top 5s win championships. Wins are just fun to have, but top 5s consistently, oh yeah. And that's where he is now. He's up to 3rd.
Yeah, right now, got some good momentum. He's got 2 of the Altus cars in the top 4. Time being at the very least right now. Still coming up to a quarter-way distance through this one. It looks like we're having the field take a more calmer approach.
Thank goodness. I mean, at this point, I don't know if I could take much more excitement. I might need to be, thrown out of this Discord lobby. Pooh, boy, I just tell you, it was crazy the last race to the point where everybody was wrecking. But this time, we got a little more organizational. Sure, we get a couple crazy moves, but I think we won't see as aggressive as moves as we did in the last one. They watched the same thing we just saw, and I guarantee you, they do not want to have the same thing happen to them, because it's kind of embarrassing when that happens. It really is. And they just want to go out there and show that they can drive competitively and be up in the front. So, I mean, at this point, they got to do whatever it takes to get back up there, especially cars like the 37 of Kevin Zozak, currently running on the outside line. Last car in line with Ed Ryan on the bottom. They are just relaxing, chilling it out, riding in the back. I always say keep an eye on those guys, because they're not there intentionally very often, but sometimes they are trying to get themselves positioned just right for the right time to strike.
This exhibition's a good tone setter, though, for the start of the season, you have to argue. Full 36 race schedule, by the way. You know what the prize is if you're a champion? $1,000 is the Drivers' Championship prize. $100 for a top 5. Plus there's a King of the Super Speedway Series for $250. The Team Championship is another $1,000. You have a best of the rest non-playoff cost plus a charter. There's a lot of prizes in line for this season, for this series.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, it costs a little bit of money to be able to get a guaranteed spot in these races. But I will tell you this, that the amount of prize money you could earn here will well pay for it. I mean, if you're a good driver, you have a great setup like most of these guys believe that they are, then it's going to be entertaining racing. But for this race right here, it's just for fun. We're out here getting the clash done and out of the way. And then we get to the big event, which is coming up here. We'll talk about later in the show. The FLCC 500, which is going to be quite the event, and I will be trying to qualify for that race, and we'll see what happens. But it's going to be a great race, no matter what.
I mean, based on our conversations too, the expectation. Oh, trouble!
Oh, contact! Oh, they're wrecking. There they go.
No
90
caution.
cars around.
Michael Reeves is the wrong way around on the track. No caution. Medeiros is in the grass as well.
Oh no. I'm sorry to step on your toes there, but man, that was terrifying. We had a multiple car crash. That's Gregory Robinson was involved. Devin Medeiros is also involved in that one. And I mean, at that point, that separated it out to be single file. But let's take a look at it. The 20 car just got really loose in the corner. It happened a little sooner, back in turns 3 and 4. But the 20 car, this was a little bit of the aftermath. I think he got clipped by the 11 with a bad push going into the corner. Right about, where is it? There it comes. Here it comes. Yep, right here. That's just right there. Bad push, gets into the 51. He saves it, but I think it broke his left front suspension, his left front toe link. And when that happened, he's just trying to hang on at this point. He's trying to get down out of the way. 90 was below the yellow, trying to miss it. It's just evasive actions at this point. Cars are sideways on the track, but no caution, which is quite surprising. They're going to have to keep going.
We stay green. Just had someone turn a hard left. Think we just had an issue for one driver because we just had one driver just disappear from the line. Everybody else staying in the line at the halfway point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, let's take a look at it and see who's left. Who are the guys that we're talking about? Patrick Gitter's leading this thing with Robert Miller running in second, Jordan Person in third. And it looks like we start to have an outside line coming, but Lucas Hoetzma is currently in fourth. Fifth with Larry McDonald, and Evan Misnard is currently running in sixth. That's the final transfer spot, but that final transfer spot might be up for grabs here in a minute when the 11 car catches up to the back bumper.
That is if they elect, or rather have enough momentum built up, should say, to make it all the way up there. But as coming up to 9 laps to go, expecting some blocking to potentially come into play a little bit. Right now at the moment, we have about 11 drivers in this pack.
Half in, half out, a little bit like that. We got up front, I gotta say, Patrick Gitter is one of those drivers that will do whatever it takes to stay in the front. He is gonna make some aggressive blocks later in this race if anyone tries to challenge him for this win. He's gonna be willing to do just about anything to hang on to where he's at. But that 11 car I talked about earlier, that's Ryan S. Jones. He's getting pushed by the 29 of, looks like Tanner Marty. And they're just trying to make that outside line work, and Brickley's up there with them. I don't know what's going to happen, but at this point, that outside line is starting to reel him in like he's gone fishing, reeling him in like a fish.
Yeah, starting to really get some momentum built up right now for the time being. Looks like that outside line's got a great head of steam now. It's all the way up to third. Do you try and block it off from the inside, or do you let this outside cook?
No, let him cook. Let him cook. I mean, at this point, if you're on the bottom, look, the most that's going to happen is 2 cars on this outside line will drop down to the bottom, and you'll be third and fourth. And, I mean, at this point, let him cook. Let him go up to the top. And that way, you know, you're still in the transfer. You just won't have the lead of the line. I mean, unless you are like 4th or 5th or maybe even 3rd, I'd pull up. But if you're the top 2, no. I just try and make my line go faster than theirs. It's a 2-team sport at this point, the top versus the bottom.
Now that outside line, just like as you mentioned, the letting them cook method has absolutely worked that outside line, losing momentum. Still coming up to 6 laps to go in this one.
Wow. I mean, one of my favorite things about this track at night is how the reflections on the cars look from the lights. They really do make this look as pretty as possible. It's one of those tracks that you know, are just great for photos and great for pictures for these cars. And most of the time when they show off their paint schemes, they come to either Charlotte or Daytona or one of these tracks at night because you get some good photos of the race cars. One of the ones that we have been praising all night, or at least talking about a little. Oh, around goes the 80. There's a wreck on the back straightaway. The caution's out. That's Larry McDonald around.
Caution flag is out. Tanner Marti also picking up contact from it. We're under yellow after a push in the middle of the corner.
Oh, no. I mean, I think that's going to make this interesting. Hey, remember what happened last time? We got a caution with 3 to go. Now we got double that. Oh, boy. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, seen at least a door open, I think, at the corner. Obviously, that's not good.
Here they come. They're single file. I mean, what is he trying to do? He had a little bit of a run. 73 saw a hole. He took that hole, but the 80 car, he didn't leave much, but he left a little, enough of a hole for him to want to make a move. And that's the 73. Who is that? That's Evan Menard. Mesnard? Yeah, I think Mesnard. But yeah, that is a Menard, I think. How would you pronounce it, Justin?
Mesnard, I believe.
Mesnard, yep.
But he did see the door open, see a chance to gain a spot. And McDonald pays the price.
So what's the lesson you should learn from this? If you're watching this and you're driving on iRacing and you've never raced in a race like this, the #1 rule, if you are in a single file line and they're running the bottom of the line, don't even give the car behind you the chance to get under you. Don't even try. Because right there's a whole car length. He was there. He never went below the yellow whatsoever. That was a clean move. Unfortunately, McDonald left just enough room for the car to put his nose there, and he just went around. And I don't know who else he also collected the 29 let's see here, who was that? Was it Marty?
Yes.
Tanner Marty? Yeah. Golly. That's unfortunate. I think he's he's in pit lane right now, sitting in his pit stall. I think he's going to be trying to get his, damage repaired. I don't know if he's going to have enough to be able to get it fully repaired, but Tanner's got to get back out there if he wants to make this field. He's got to go out there and still finish 6th. So, I mean, fix as much of the damage as you can and then get back on the track.
Easier said than done. He took a hard wallop to the right front fender. See a couple others still in the pit lane, including Michael Reeves, who's already out of the race for the past couple laps for that stack up that did not bring no caution. Interesting enough, Robinson, also amongst those who ended up coming down a pit road, just came for a quick stop, it looks like, in his case. But tempo's starting to pick up, looking like we're going to have a 5-lap dash to the end here.
Oh yeah, 5 laps. I mean, at this point, this is what all the fans who tune in come and stay for. Right here at the end of these races, when you get a 5-lap, 2-lap, 3-lap, whatever, under 10 laps makes this the most entertaining racing because they go out there and they're willing to do whatever it takes to try and win this race. And at this point, if you're in the top 5, I mean, maybe the nerves are starting to kick in. You got to be able to stay calm, but I mean, it's going to be hard to do that knowing what's coming. You're going to have quite the job to be able to hold off all these hard-charging drivers and still be able to get in the top 6. It's going to be pretty hard for these guys.
Very hard, absolutely. So we'll have to see what happens for this field here in the next little bit. Still have about a pace lap to go before we get back going here. So who are you keeping an eye on for this next run here to be able to try and set the trend for what needs to be done for these moves that you're expecting here?
Well, I got a feeling, and that feeling normally isn't always right. We were right in the first heat, but I have another feeling right here. I think you want to keep an eye on number 51, Ed Ryan. I have a feeling that this driver here, he's sitting in right now in 7th, but I think if he's able to get a great restart, stay on the bottom, and hope the outside line does what it's done all day, which is mostly, in most cases, drop out, that he will be in a catbird seat to be able to get a transfer spot. And I don't know if he's going to be able to win this LCQ, but I think he has a good shot of being able to be at one of the 6. I have my eyes on that number 51, but right behind him, too, we got Bobby. Right there, Bobby, the owner of the league, right? Bobby Anderson. If he is somehow in communication with the 51, I think that there can be some communication there, working together. Same thing with the 11 and the 88, but you got to, if you're out already, what do you have to lose? Make some friends, get up there, push them, do what you can to try and make the top 6. As they're going down the backstretch right now, doubled up. I mean, the excitement's getting there. I'm starting to shake a little bit. Man, I think that we're going to see could be one of the better finishes that we've seen so far. I have a lot of optimism here.
Goes to the restart. It's Patrick Gitter up front, followed by Miller, Person. McDonald was 5th. It's now going to be Mesnard in that 5th spot. Brickley in 6th position. It's going to be a wild one to see who advances. 5 more laps to go here in this second and final LCQ here for the clash. Pace car is off. Green, green, green. 5 laps to go.
All right, big jump from the leader. No help as they cross the stripe. He's way out there. That's Patrick Gitter. No help, but the outside line's coming, and he moves right up in front of it. That's probably the smartest thing he can do. Will the 15 stick with him? Yes, he will. That outside line has all the momentum. Forget the bottom. The bottom's dead. For the first time in all night, the bottom line has died and gone to heaven. He's going to see if they can come back, but I don't know if it's going to be worth seeing. Everybody's ditching the bottom. There's only 4, 5 cars down there anymore.
Somebody might make that peel down. Instead, everybody's going to run the wall. Lots of momentum up top side. First time we've seen the wall come into play.
Oh, the Dale Jr. line is what I always like to hear at these super speedways. Up in the front, the leader always likes to be right up on the wall. I mean, that makes it pretty protected, because on the top, if you go low, you lose a lot more momentum than you do if you're on the bottom and you go top and you lose momentum. I mean, at this point, it's going to make this finish crazy. I'm getting 2017 Kurt Busch Daytona 500 vibes right now with all of them up there on the top of the wall.
Prevents a chance for someone to pull you back on the side draft, though, from the outside line. When the outside line is, well, the wall. Couple people scraping the wall a little bit. Right now, Jan Petrovic is currently the one on the bubble. Now to the inside, they ditch Gitter. Here comes the Altus drivers, 1 and 2, as Gitter has no help. Now he finds some help.
Yeah, Gitter's gone. He's gone. He's out of here. We don't even need to talk about him no more. I don't think he's going to be able to get back to the front unless he finds... Oh, he found a hole right there with the 11 car. 11's probably going to be able to keep him back in this race. But right now, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. We got a big separation from the top 6, but Gitter's getting a run. Here he comes. To the outside with the 11 car.
Building up momentum. Now can he get... There is the question with 2 laps to go. Right now, top 4 must single file side by side for 6. Larry McDonald got turned around for the caution. He's now moving up with damage.
Somehow, some way, some shape, some form, they have made it to 2 to go without a crash. But Gitter, he's going to need a lot of help here. He's going to need a lot of help. We got Larry McDonald currently sitting in the final transfer spot, but he's got a little bit of a run trying to make a room for 5th. I don't know if that's the best idea. Yeah, there you go. Make it back down. Get back down. That's the right idea. Don't go up to the top. You're going to lose a lot of momentum doing that.
Ryan Jones taking a hard hit you seen on screen. No caution though. Coming to the white flag this time by. No pull back. Now he opened the door to the 73 because of contact. Final time around, white flag is out.
Here we go. That 51, I told you to keep an eye on. Ed Ryan, guess what? He's pushing Gitter. And up to the top, there they are. They're all there. But the 44 is also leading that line. I don't know if he's going to have very much help. Gitter's got to be able to push him hard. He's going to have to do something here to be able to stay in the top 6. 51's not helping too much. But up front, the leaders, let's focus on that too. We got Robert Miller up front and Lucas Hoetzma going into 3.
Who's going to take the checker flag? No move up for the Altus drivers yet. Battle for the transfer still online as well. McDonald trying to take a 6th spot. He won't. Drag race at the line. Who's got it? It's Miller by 12 one-thousandths of a second.
What a finish. Heck yeah. Hey, nobody wrecked that time. Hey, that's awesome. Great finish. Robert Miller, he makes his way into the race. And let's make sure that we see who are the 6 that advance in that. Let's see. So we got Robert Miller, Lucas Hoetzma, Billy Brickley, Patrick Gitter, Thomas Kulmacheski, I think, and Armin's Jatra Petrovics. And then finally, Larry McDonald, I think. Oh, is it Larry on the last one? Nope, it's Jen Petrovics is the last one, I believe.
Yes, indeed, can confirm as we move into the warm-up portion of the night. So again, it was Miller, Hoetzma, Brickley, Gitter, Kubacheski, now Petrovic who will move on in the field. Then first one out is McDonald, Mesnard in 8th, Ryan and Anderson were in 9th and 10th. Robinson, Medeiros, Person, Marty, Jones, Reeves, Zosiak with a technical issue out of the race finishes in 17th. Again, looks on the bottom of your second LCQ field. So as we are now done through to the qualifying portion of the night, the Clash, its main feature is coming up in a bit. We'll take a quick step aside when we come back. We'll talk about things as we set the table for the 20-lap feature here on Maconi Entertainment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, to Daytona for tonight's coverage for the full-length Cup Challenge here for the Clash here from Daytona. Again, it's been an interesting night so far. Justin Prince alongside Kirk Mills, as Christian Hill is our producer for tonight. Currently in the midst of the preparations for the feature. 20 laps up on the board. It's been an exciting one so far tonight, Kirk.
Oh, definitely. I mean, at this point, we got all the excitement out of us. And the thing is, we're not even done yet. We got another 20-lap race for the feature. 20 cars are going to be out there trying to compete. And the two names in this field that are the hardest to pronounce, they made it through. So we're going to have some fun up here in the booth, I'm sure, trying to make sure we call them up, down as they make their way to the front. But I got to say, I mean, it was amazing to see what moves were willing to be made by all these drivers to make it into the big final. 20 cars. I mean, the odds of you getting in on random chance are so low. But in this case, you got to remember that, I mean, there's a lot of talent that's required at these big super speedways. I mean, there is an element of luck involved as well, but still, the amount of talent that these 20 cars have puts them exactly where they need to be for this race.
So, in your opinion, who are you watching the most out for a race like this here tonight, knowing what we've seen here so far?
Out of everything I've seen, of course, we're gonna look at the two guys, of course, that have run in Coke in the past. I think I gotta remember the names here. I got Hill, and I got, let's see, what was his name? The other guy. It wasn't Gitter, was it? It was. Do you remember the other one?
Are you talking about Delaney?
Yeah, Delaney. I don't know why it escaped my mind for a moment. All right, Delaney. Yeah, did he make it? I think he did, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
Yes.
I think those two are going to be the two that's going to be hard to beat. They made it through on their. I think it was through their heats, but it was entertaining to watch what they did on the racetrack and how they were able to take the lead and hold it for a while. Those are somebody out. That's a person I'd like to watch. But in terms of underdogs, guys that I wouldn't expect to see, do too harshly. I mean, it's going to be the back five. Patrick Gitter, definitely someone to watch. I'm going to start with that.
Your starting grid on screen is Dustin Hall and Brennan Hastings will start on the front row. Andrew Russo and Christopher Hill, the top four. Nolan Hodgson and Adam Benefield, the top six, with Jason S. Taylor and Jonathan Delaney back in eighth. Then it's Chris Davis and Robert Miller, your top 10.
11th is Alex Murray, with 12th Lucas Hoedsma. And starting in 13th is Ralph Hutchinson, followed by the number 14. Starting by the 14th is the number 44 of Billy Brickley. And starting in 15th is Daniel Llewellyn in the 07. Starting 16th is Patrick Gitter in the 21, with William Owens in 17th. Then we got 18th of Thomas Kulmacheski. Thomas Kulmacheski starting 18th. 19th, Shane Davis. And then 20th is going to be Armins in the number 90 car.
That's all top to bottom at the running order here for tonight's action. What are your keys to victory for this race?
I mean, at this point, it depends on how these guys want to drive. If they want to drive overly aggressive, being in the top 5, top 10 of this race, up in the front, doesn't matter, lead the line. That is where you want to be. Most of these wrecks were not in the front of the pack. These were in like 5th, 3rd, or 6th. They have bad pushes by cars that had to check up, and they didn't have enough time to check up with it, and they just decided, I'm not going to check, I'm going to push you, and just, come hell or high water, well, I'm going either through you or you're moving out of my way. So I don't think from the place you don't want to be is anywhere from, like, say, 5th to like 5th to the back. Anywhere in that range, well, anywhere on the track is dangerous, but I don't like right behind the lead cars, because there's a lot of drag that they cause, and you have to check up really big, and big runs come from like the top 10. So I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we got 20 laps to see how it's going to be. 9 incidents, meaning they can't hit each other that much or they're out. And we got 3 attempts at a green-white checkered for this race, 3 of them, which means we're probably going to use all 3 of them. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll have to see what happens here. Should be a fun one. Once again, it is time for the feature for the FLCC 500 Clash here on Maconi Entertainment. It's Dustin Hall up on the front row with Brendan Hastings. Happy to have you with us for Daytona. The green flag is out. We're underway for the feature.
Oh yeah, here we go. The outside line's got a big old push, and they're moving right along. Tell you what, 3 wide already. Here comes a 6 all the way up against the wall. He is 3 wide. Now the 83 got put in the middle, and that's going to stop being 3 wide really quick. Man, that probably made Adam Benefil in that number 83 car feel absolutely. It might have made him need a new pair of pants to use that old verbiage. And I think that was pretty hectic start and an aggressive move done by the 6 car, Jonathan Delaney, as they head into 3.
Just like that, Benefield still holding on the 4th spot on the outside line at least, but to the point with the push. It's Hill and Delaney. Those two have stayed hooked up tonight, to say the least.
Like I said, those are the 2 you want to watch. They know how to lead a line. They're going to the bottom. Oh my gosh, we almost turned him. Huge checkup on the bottom of the racetrack. The top 2 almost wrecked each other right when I was talking them up. I got to stop doing that, man. They're going to wreck each other again. That ain't good. They're beating and they're bumping each other, trying to, stay in the front as the 81 car looks like he's getting sucker holed all the way to the back. We talked about him being one of the last ones to make it in there. Brandon Hastings. He was started up front, I think, and started second, dropping all the way back to the last place now.
Drop kicked all the way to the back. We'll see what happens for the rest of this one now that he no longer have the track position. Up a lot of people getting separation though, pack to pack, expecting the gaps to close up here. But no one Hodgson amongst those, losing a lot of momentum up on that top line. There are a big cushion starting to build in some cases here.
Yes, the top 8, they're gone. They are already scooting away because that 9th and 10th place spot are side by side. They're not helping each other. 7's not high enough to where he's not going to influence the side draft of the bottom lane. He's low enough to where they're going to be side drafting. But it looks like that the bottom line's got a good push from the 60 car, who was a great pusher, and he won his heat. He finished second in his heat, but still, that just means he's a good pusher. He's going out to the outside now, trying to move up in this 20-lap feature.
Yeah, right now, these gaps, already seen the closing up of them already. We've seen some good driving for Hodgson earlier on in the heat races. What is it like knowing you've been on ice essentially for an hour and a half, though, compared to earlier on the night from those heat races? Is there's a big block outside.
Yeah, crazy block. My gosh, man. I saw it and I was like, golly, they're 3 wide, 12 cars up, put up top. He's going to be going right back to the back unless someone wants to help him. I don't see it happening. Nope, probably not. That 88's going to keep him up there and it's going to be 3 wide. But in this case, if you sat out and only made your way through the first heat, for example, the 1 car that we talked about earlier, that was Dustin Hall. He just... honestly, I guarantee you, he probably just sat back, had a nice drink, watched what happened and trying to take notes, see who we got to look out for. And right now he's in a good spot. I like where he is. 4th car on the bottom line. I think, and he's also with the 44 right in front of him. Both cars I complimented earlier. I think that they're going to be just waiting for the right time to strike, similar to how they did it in their heat races.
We're distance already through in this clash. Oh, and some trouble in the back of the field. Hard contact to the wall for the 90.
Oh, no. Armin's. Well, I don't know what happened. The caution's not out. They're going to stay green, but his car is dead. His engine is off. His right front wheel is hanging off by a thread, and he has ascended at this point. So let's take a look and see what the heck happened to him. As he went down the backstretch, 12 car. Oh, no. Who's the 12? That's unfortunate. Nolan Hodgkin. We were talking about him a little bit earlier in the race. Just unfortunate. It's just a bad push. And I think it's a racing incident, personally. A big checkup may have caused that. But, at this point, not something you want to get involved in whatsoever.
Op number 7 underway, and it seems like the calmness is starting to pick up up front, at least, compared to the intensity out back. Looks like your front runners preferring the choo-choo train effect now.
Well, not for long. The outside 6 car Delaney. He got knocked out of the top couple spots. Guess where he wants to be? Right back up in the top couple spots. He's making a move with Robert Miller, trying to take the top 2 spots. But on the bottom, we got the 7 car again, trying to push the lead car here of Christopher M. Hill up to the front, and he does. They lead first and second in that lap. Almost contact there with Gitter.
Apologies popping up over the radio from that situation, it seems like. These drivers just having some fun, having a ball here with the driving, though.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point. You're here to have fun. I mean, this is not for points, not for like anything crazy. It's just for bragging rights. So at this point, go out there and just drive your what off. Okay, go out there and try and win this dang thing. But you still got to be smart because you got to get to the end. You don't want to end up like what happened in the 90, Unfortunately, you don't want that to happen to you. So you got to be able to be smart with your moves. But up front, man, just switching the lead back and forth. Delaney and Hill just back and forth.
Just to go back and forth, swapping all over the place when it comes to the lines and the momentum swings. A few more people up top side of the backdrop losing a lot of ground there, including the 88 machine, Kopacheski, losing a lot of ground. But that outside, Hill able to lead the way. Hoitzman ditches him for the lead.
As they go side by side for the lead in turns 3 and 4. The outside line's losing a lot of momentum, but they have a good stack coming. The 88 is leading a little push here. I don't know if that's going to get the outside line any momentum, but they are checking up pretty harshly. 79 dives down, and that momentum is gone. Just like that, we'll see what ends up happening. The top 2 on the outside line might be looking to head low here in a moment, with maybe even the top 3.
A lot of communication popping up on the radio, by the way, as we come up to the halfway point. These drivers try and sort each other out. Keep in mind, a lot of people have lost the draft in this race. William Owens, Ralph Hutchinson, Andrew Russo, and more have all been communicating on the radio, trying to communicate. These front runners that continue to swap back and forth, but some of those that are all strung apart are just trying to fend for themselves. Just like Cal, we've seen these drivers get aggressive, fending for themselves with the elbows out up front.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, one thing that I do notice is that the pack up front has shrunk significantly. We're down to 14 cars up here in this lead pack. We started the day with 20. We're losing them like flies at this point. Hoping that they don't have any more issues, but up front, I'm noticing some really aggressive pushes to the back of the 1 car. I believe it's coming from Adam Benefil, is giving some crazy shots to the point where there's a lot of checkup on the outside line. So much so that the 60 car just got shuffled out of line. He's all the way back out to the back now. Oh, we got a lap car coming up here. Look out, look out, look out. All good. They just barely missed each other there. That's 12 of Hodgkinson, I believe. That was the lapper.
Some guessing games on the racing line. Being able to know what line lap traffic's going to be so important in situations just like what we just seen there.
Some big pushing up front. I've never been a fan of the leaders pushing like that all the time, because that happens where it's like scares the living crap out of everybody who's not in those cars. The pushes are so aggressive up front. He is blocking so harshly, and by he, I mean, of course, Robert Miller, but he's hanging on to the lead. That's what he's got to do. He wants to win this race, and the only way you could do that in most cases is by making sure no one can pass you. And the only thing he's worried about is if anyone's going to wreck him.
Well, he does have a teammate behind him. That's the thing. And those 2 Altus cars up at the very front of the field, they've been like wingmen for each other with how they've been able to work together and push. It seems like they are very much in sync right now. But here's the thing. There is a huge run coming for the outside behind them. Now they get ditched by Delaney. He's trying to join that freight train. Watch it from stage right.
Huge checkup on the outside line. That's going to cause a stack up almost. Not quite, but the outside line, he comes up the block. That's Miller up the block on Delaney.
People want to see more pushing and battling up front on the radio. They're having a blast. Coming around to the final stretch here for the Clash.
Oh man, this is when it's gonna get good. Let's see it. Here they go, still trying to push, and they want to have control of this race. Both of them do. So they're teammates, so might as well have them both lead both lines. That way, nobody can pass them unless they make it 3 wide, which is a dangerous move because you could either get put in the sucker hole or, you know, all heck could break loose and crashing all over the place. But at this point, we got them side by side throughout this whole field, and they're just trying to set it up. Where do they want to be as we come down to get just a handful of laps left to go in this one?
Now back up front, Miller. Push from Benefield this time. Benefield waits on the bumper. Coming up 5 laps to go this upcoming time by and Adam Benefield, usually one who makes the calls of the radio, makes the call to make the move for the lead.
Wow, down to the bottom he went, and down to the back that Miller guy goes. Robert Miller dropped back pretty good, but the 6 car of Delaney gave him a huge shot in the back, making him stay with the lead pack. I mean, at this point, Alex Benefield and Dustin Hall, my pick of the day, man, they are trying their best to try and hang on to this top front group. But the thing is look at that gap from 3rd back to 4th. There is absolutely no way they can keep that for a long time. I mean, that second pack is going to get there, and they're going to get there quickly.
Less than 5 laps to go. Now, Miller, he thought about going outside. Delaney ditched him instead. But there's an Altus pusher from the top side. Now it's Benefield blocking the Altus cars, trying to play defense multiple lines. Miller tries to push them now far ahead.
And so many moves are being made at the last minute. Once you see that momentum change happening, they just do whatever it takes to get in front of it. It's amazing that they've been able to hang on to their cars as long as they have as we come down to the bottom. Here comes the 97 of Lucas Hoetzma to the bottom, being pushed by Jason Taylor, but to the outside, the 7 car, they're 3 wide. Now for second place as they head into the corner, and pushing the 97 is the 7, again, of Alex Murray. 3 by 3 in the back.
All sorts of scattering. Hoetzma now trying to block the middle. Near contact for Benefield for the back end from the 60. Now Benefield blocks to the bottom of the racetrack. This is getting chaotic, but at the same time, you have to get to the front if you want to win this race.
Oh, yeah, you know it. But, you know, there's going to be a lap traffic involved in this, I think. There is a car currently coming out of the tri-oval that we're going to catch coming here to the 3 to go at this point. I don't know if this is going to be a factor, but they have calmed down quite a bit from the 3 wide racing. I think they're just trying to set up their move for the last part of this race.
Race control telling them to get to the apron, telling the lap traffic, get to the apron if they can. Do not be a factor for this situation. Then they go to the apron. Lap traffic obeys race control's orders. Now Benefield goes to the race lead, side by side for the point. Now a push once again from Jason Taylor, this time to Benefield, as Murray tries to push Hoetzma outside with the momentum, coming to 2 laps to go.
In the main event here in the full-length Cup Challenge, almost a turn there by Taylor, but he's going to go to the bottom with Delaney giving him a shot. Here he goes, Alex Benefield, he is going back. He's going to need some help to be able to keep going. At this point, it's all friendships are out the window. Just find somebody, push them. It doesn't matter. Make a move, get the momentum, and keep going. That's what he's got to do. Right now, Alex Murray has got a big chance right now. Alex Murray, he's going to have a big run, and so is Patrick Gitter. I think Patrick Gitter might push the 7. Might. We'll have to see what he chooses to do here as we come to the white flag. 1 lap to go here in the full-length Cup Challenge Clash. Who's it going to be?
Who's going to be able to get the checker flag first is the question. Murray goes up front. He's got some help from Gitter. Momentum dies off here. Now it's Taylor getting a push from Delaney. Delaney trying to push his way ahead so he gets a cut. Now there's this little bit of a lip for the inside. Now Delaney clears on by. Delaney ditches. Now Hoytsman goes on with them. Delaney to the lead with one more corner to go. One more stretch. Hoytsman now goes to the left. He's got the pole. Side trapped on Delaney. Delaney responds back. Side by side. A block for Delaney. It is Delaney at the line.
Oh, what a photo finish, the 6th car. Wow, what a move. He held on to it, and those two must have worked together because they dumped that 60 really quickly, and he's not happy about it. You see him, he bumped him right in the rear end. He's like, I don't like how you dropped me, man. But what a finish. Jonathan Delaney, you see the fireworks going off. Man, what a finish. He is the winner of the full-length Cup Challenge Clash here at Daytona. What a race.
Firework-filled affair here tonight, but Delaney times it up right and gets to celebrate. How about that finish? That took a lot of timing. That was side draft to its finest down to that final straightaway.
Oh, he's in a wall. Holy cow. I mean, he don't care. I mean, he won the race. That might be a penalty a little later, but man, what a race he had here while he's celebrating here on the front stretch. I mean, he's got to give a lot of props to the guy who went with him whenever he made the move on the 60. If it was not for Christopher Hill, I don't think he would have won that race. But Christopher Hill even came within it was Hotsma who came within 8 1/1000ths of a second of winning this race. I mean, this is some of the closest finishes that we've had here with a full-length Cup Challenge. I mean, this is pretty as close as it can get.
Jonathan Delaney gets to burn it on down here at Daytona. As he gets to celebrate, we'll get set for post-race coverage. Post-race coverage will get underway in just a moment. You're watching Maconi Entertainment from Daytona.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Clash. An exciting night for the full-length Cup Challenge as the FLCC 500 Clash comes down to a drag race. Let's take a look at your unofficial race results here for tonight's action. Jonathan Delaney takes the win by 8 1/1000ths of a second over Lucas Hoytsma. Then it's Alex Murray in third, Gitter, Davis, Jason Taylor, the top 6. Dustin Hall finishes off in 7th. Then Komacheski finishes off in 8th. You also had Brickley and Robert Miller, your top 10.
Finishing in the 11th place spot, Adam Benefill, followed by Shane P. Davis finishing in 12th. 13th, Christopher M. Hill, 14th was Brandon Hastings with the 15th spot, going to Ralph A. Hutchinson. 16th spot was William Owens, followed by 17th, Andrew Russo. 18th finisher was Daniel Llewellyn. Nolan Hodgson gets 19th. And then finally, last place for this race was the number 90 of Armins Juan Petrovics. Yeah, I got it that time. All right.
Let's look top to bottom of the running order here for tonight's racing action. As we get ready to talk with our drivers here for tonight, the top three just about standing on by here. We have, first things first, your race winner tonight, Jonathan Delaney, jumping to the broadcast booth. Let's see if we can get a word here with Jonathan. Jonathan, do you have a copy?
Oh, let me see if I can't go and fix that problem. Hang on.
Currently have a situation where we're working on it to rectify for the driver comms for this point. I'll ask you this, Kirk, your thoughts on tonight with what we've seen here in this race tonight.
Well, honestly, it was hard racing all around. It was something that I got to say is absolutely phenomenal, is how these guys were able to make it all the way through this race and still ended up at the end being competitive. We had about 10 cars finish within 1 second of each other, which is half the field. And that's something that was hard to get earlier in the C main. We barely had in the top 6 of them separated about 10 seconds, which is wild. But great finish all around. As I'm trying to reach out here to the owner here to see if we can't get these guys on the radio.
But overall, this kind of sets the tone for the week, because the next portion of the events for this series is going to be the duels. And those are expected to be busy. 60, 70 drivers was the expectation potentially.
60 drivers. Oh, yeah. The amount of drivers that are going to come out for the 500 next week, or just whenever it's coming up here, we'll have to look at that. It's going to be soon, and I think it's going to be a large field trying to make it, and we're going to have a lot of people going home unhappy. We'll see if we can't get them to talk here. I'm trying to fix that here. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get Bobby and make sure we can get their interviews taken care of.
Okay, so on that note, once again, to talk about the full-length Cup Challenge, reminder that this is a series that will go all the way up to November 2nd, following the real-world schedule. And we'll see all the racing action here at Maconi Entertainment, including Crown Jewel events, a part of that schedule slate. So as we continue on here, I'll ask you again your final thoughts essentially on tonight here, Kirk, as we get all squared away just about here.
Well, final thoughts here is I'd love to hear from these drivers, because what they did here tonight, I mean, it was phenomenal to hear to watch them on the track. A lot of beating them, a lot of banging, and it's something that's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next hit. So at this point, we're going to ask Jonathan to leave and come back into the broadcast booth so that way he can talk. You should be good to go.
Let's try this again. Jonathan, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. How's it going, guys?
Hello, doing good. How does it feel to be the winner here at the Clash?
Oh man, it feels good. Tonight was all about having fun and just really going out there and like I said, just having fun really. And that's what we did. We had fun. I got to work with my teammates, and it was all in all, it was a great night. And we came out on top with a win. So yeah.
Talk to us about the planning and plotting for that final stretch, though, to battle side by side down that final straightaway.
Down the backstretch, it was me, Jason, and I had my teammate Lucas behind me. And I was pretty hot on temp, so I knew I couldn't push him for too long. So I let Lucas know going down the backstretch that going down into 3, that I was going to take the leader, Jason, high, and pull him, side draft him, pull him back, and get around him through 3 and 4. We got off of turn 4. Lucas got to my inside, tried to get a run on me, and I was able to actually pull him back. And then Alex was coming behind to my right, by the wall, and I was able to kind of slow him down too. So there's a lot of mirror driving coming off of turn 4. Um, but it was, all in fall, just having fun, just working around for the different lanes that's we're gonna hopefully see next week, and just trying to get some experience to go and actually win the 500 in another week from now. So.
What will your approach be in turn then for the duels next week?
Yeah, so I mean, I mean, it'd be nice to, start on pole or even in the front row. That way, we don't have to worry about finishing real good in the duels. We can kind of take those pretty relaxed. But for the duels, and I guess go out there and try and win it. That way, you get the best starting position you can. But all in all, it's 500 miles, the Daytona 500. So you got a long way to. Well, it's a long race. You got two stage breaks. So there's gonna be a lot of strategy involved, a lot of teamwork is gonna be needed. Um, and yeah, it's gonna be a long race. It always is. But just figuring out the right strategy coming down to the last stint is gonna be the key to go and win the big one.
Anyone who want to
Delaney,
go ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta ask him, Delaney. Do you got anybody to thank for this? Like anything on your mind? Anybody you want to thank for helping you get to this point?
Yeah, so I thank everyone over at Lockdown Racing. These guys have helped me a lot. Um, Logan Sheets, he made a absolute of a ripper car tonight. So that was insane. Um, and then all my teammates, Ralph and Lucas, for coming out tonight and helping. Lucas there at the end for helping me help push me past the leader there at the end and get me the win. So, but that's all I got. Thank you guys for broadcasting tonight, and Bobby Anderson and all the other admins of this league that put this together. And I can't wait for another season of some full length cup races.
Let's congratulations on the win here tonight, Jonathan.
Thank you. Yes.
Jonathan Delaney comes away with the win here tonight in the clash. Second goes to Lucas Hoitzma. He's with Kirk.
Hey, Lucas, how you doing? You got second tonight, but by the slimmest of margins. My goodness. How did it feel coming to the line? Did you think you had him?
Oh man, I knew I made that move too early. I was just hoping maybe him and Alex would get tangled together up there or something. I don't know, man. But that was one of the best races I've ever done. Just constant fighting. Nobody was wrecking. It was just amazing for all 20 laps. Everybody in this field just top tier. That was amazing. And just even though it's a second, it still feels like a win because that was just such a fun race. And to lose to the teammate this year, it's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, at this point, I mean, you technically did win. You're a part of the team. That's why they call it a team. All right. I got to ask you one other thing is whenever you guys made that choreographed move on the backstretch to get by the 60 car of Jedi, out of curiosity, what was the final word that you heard before you went? Was there something that he said, a key word or something that you guys have with each other to let you know I'm going? Or is there something that sparked that move?
Yeah, so we took the white. He said, I think I'm going to make the move somewhere on the backstretch. And we get off 2, and he goes, all right, into 3, I'm going up. So I tried my best to get up to his bumper going into 3, and luckily I did. So just got up to his bumper. I knew that with the 60 being, I think the 60 being alone on the bottom would just, we'd just be way out there. And that's why I made the move so early. I figured it was going to be one of us, but I should have waited just a little bit longer. Hindsight. Oh, well, it was still awesome.
It was a great finish. Now, I got to ask you, you have anybody in mind that you're thinking about back home or anybody you want to thank on the broadcast?
Oh, absolutely. Just want to thank you guys for doing this, first and foremost. And Quinn and 712 Brakes, if you want car brakes, that's where you got to go. Everybody at RH Motorsports, Ralph, Delaney, and whoever else we bring on. It's going to be a fun season with those guys. It was a great night with them, and can't thank them enough for the support they've already given me.
Oh, well, in that case, thank you so much, Lucas, for coming by. And great job in finishing second, and congrats to the whole team. Did a wonderful job tonight.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Lucas Hoytsman coming away in second tonight. Third spot went the way of Alex Murray. Alex, coming up close in this one. Talk to us through what was going through your mind in the closing stages as things started to get pretty hectic.
Yeah, it was hectic, all right. We had to fight through some adversity there. Thought we were going to make it through in the heat, and just kind of things didn't play out. And then the LCQ obviously was kind of crazy, getting crossed up there on the last lap going down the backstretch while everyone was in, and someone threw a block that probably wasn't needed and cost a couple others a chance at racing this deal. But yeah, the final race there, the actual clash, was a ton of fun. Thought that was the best race I've had on iRacing in a while. Missed racing these guys. These guys are super good, and just had to keep the head in the game and not get let out to dry there, and try to put myself in position for the end.
What's that excitement level like for this season, knowing it's full length to 36 races and knowing how much there is as well in terms of incentives to win the various portions of the season in the championship?
Yeah, I definitely think that that adds a lot of excitement to it, but I also know that stakes are going to be higher, so people are going to drive a little bit differently. So we're just going to have to stay on our toes and race how we're raced and see where it goes.
What's your approach going to be for next week for the duels?
Stay alive in them and see where we finish. Hopefully we qualify, top two, so we don't have to worry about the duels and go out there and make sure the car's good. But if not, then we'll have to race our way in. But I think we can do it.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, Premier Racing Setups, Superior Insurance, Unrivaled Cinematography, 1-800-Flood Doctor, just everybody that on Premier Racing Setups that supports me and my building, and Scott and Brandon over there as well, and obviously the Premier Racing in the league, and everyone watching back home, and my fiance, my son, everybody else that supports me.
Once again, congratulations on the podium finish here tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Alex Murray, rounding out our podium discussions. I'd like to thank the entire top three for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. Well, on that note, it's time to say goodbye. Once again, remember, it is going to be the duels next week here on Maconi Entertainment. Thank you to all our viewers for tuning in tonight. Calling the action was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Kirk Mills, the booth, Christian Hill was producing for this evening's coverage. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. Hope you see you once we do racing next time out February the 8th. Coverage again starting at approximately 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope you stay tuned to our social media pages until that point for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for the work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time for the duels from Daytona.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.